Yo, what's going on, everybody out there? It's your boy Mood616, and yes, I'm back with another Collection Carnage series. And as I predicted, the people have spoken, have wanted the Arrow video. So Arrow video's up next year. I thought maybe by chance Vinegar Syndrome was going to take it. There was a lot of people that mentioned Vinegar Syndrome and Unearthed Films and Synapse and things like that, but Arrow, of course, comes out on top. And I'm kind of glad with Vinegar Syndrome because, as you can see, I still have all my shit stacked up over here because I'm in the process of moving everything around in this room still. I know it's coming along very, very slowly. And it's frustrating because there's a lot of, there's just so much stuff to go through. I'm getting rid of a ton of stuff, and it's just a lot of damn work. It really is, on a limited schedule because I'm very, very busy. But yeah, Arrow video, man, that's definitely up next year. It's on the flip side of where the Scream Factory collection was in this shelf that we built a couple years ago. I shouldn't say we built, more or less my wife constructed, because I am not handy. I'm not a carpenter whatsoever. But yeah, got some little dust bunnies flying around in here. I just did some dusting, so I stirred it up a little bit. So don't mind those little ghost orbids or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, I'll do a quick little overview of the Arrow, and then we'll get into the stuff individually here. Top shelf, of course, is box sets. I'm not going to stop and talk about these. You guys can just quickly glance at these. I'll get to these eventually. We'll go through them. But that's what's on the top shelf. That Planet of the Apes is not part of Arrow. As you guys probably know, if you're watching this video, you know your shit. So up here is, some of the white case DVDs from way, way back in the day, into some of the slip boxes, window boxes that they did. Here's some of the slip covers, and then into, kind of standard Blu-rays. That finishes up the top shelf. Into the second shelf, same thing, more standard Blu-rays, and then into box sets upon box sets, which is always... I love my box sets, as you guys can tell. I'm such a box set whore. I don't buy them all. I pass on some because I have other editions and things like that. So, and I'm sure people will be like, where's this and where's that? And fuck, oh my God, never fucking ends. But anyways, these are fun to do. These are very, very fun. Arrow Academy stuff into Takashi Miike. And then right from Brotherhood of Satan, which I haven't even opened up, on over is stuff I picked up this month. My next update is just going to be massively big. Like, it's stupid. I probably should be doing it actually at the end of this month. And like I always talk about how my updates, I have to do them bi-monthly because I can't get stuff. Well, I ended up getting a lot of stuff before the end of the month. So, but I don't know. I'm busy next few days, baseball tournament. So anyways, I digress. Let's get into some of this Arrow stuff individually here. All right. Let's start out with a very strange one. Well, not the movie, but Dawn of the Dead. This is a very, very old Arrow Films release. So you can see like the old logo and stuff on there. 2004 Arrow Films. I didn't even know Arrow existed back then. I found this at my buddy's shop one day and I was like so confused because I'd never seen... I even tried to look it up. I couldn't really find much on it because I didn't really know about Arrow until 2008, 9? I think maybe 2008, maybe 2007. I don't know, I can't remember when they were featured in Whorehound magazine in their boutique label type thing. And then that's when they were dropping these, these white DVD covers. And yeah, that's what got me hooked. But then I found this and I was like, this is crazy. And of course, Dawn of the Dead being my favorite movie of all time, I was not going to let that sit on the shelf. So for $2, yeah, I wasn't going to pass it up. So very interesting find. Silent Night, Deadly Night. Man, this is one thing about these early Arrow video releases, as the artworks were fucking amazing. This is when they did really good artwork. They don't do a lot of great commission stuff now. Every once in a while, I think the commission artwork's better than the original, but it doesn't happen very often. But this is fantastic. Look at that shit. That's amazing. The original DVD release of Pieces, which, come on. Like, isn't that artwork just phenomenal? Like, that is ridiculously dope. I'm probably gonna get flagged. I always get fucking flagged for gore in my videos. It's ridiculous. Somebody always flags me. Bunch of pussies out there. But that's amazing. That's amazing. Pieces, one of my all-time favorite movies. I love Pieces so much. Another great artwork. Street trash. Love the movie. Yeah, I mean, all these movies I have on Blu-rays and other editions and stuff. But I was never going to get rid of these. Come on. Like, this is... Fuck. Look at that artwork. I have so many editions of Street Trash. It's crazy. Love it. Love it. Now, this is one that I assume that Arrow lost the rights to because they never did put it on Blu-ray. In fact, a lot of these DVD releases they didn't put out on Blu-ray themselves. But Baze Moy, a.k.a. Rape Me. Oh, a fantastic, fantastic fucking movie. It does have some hardcore shit in it. Really, really great movie. If you've never seen Baze Moy, it's a French film. Revenge film. Fucking awesome. Definitely give this one a shot if you can find this. I think it has a Blu-ray somewhere in the world. Maybe a German one. Somebody put it down in the comments. Let me know where the Blu-ray is. I'm pretty sure there is one somewhere. I know there's a high def transfer rolling around of this. So I'm sure there's a Blu-ray somewhere. Probably Germany. They always seem to put out these type of things. But Baze Moy, fantastic movie. Gotta love it. Wes Craven's Deadly Blessing, DVD version. Did they? They never did put out the Blu-ray of this, did they? I have the Scream Factory one, but yeah, this was the very first time I actually ever owned Deadly Blessings when this DVD came out. And yeah, so this was like 2011. I know it was like 2008 or 9 is when they first started putting out these. Definitely 2009 for sure. So, Rosa Santa, The Werewolf Hunt, the Paco Plaza film. I've actually never watched this. Believe it or not, this thing is still sealed, and I've never watched it. I should just, maybe I'll do this in 31 Days of Horror this year, which I'm going to be doing. I'm going to actually have to pre-record some of these because I'll be at Cinema Wasteland in October. So if you guys are going to Cinema Wasteland in October, if you see me and Dave and JP and Horrorsball, we're all going to be there, man. So come over and say hi. It's going to be a reunion. It's going to be awesome, man. But yeah, I've never seen this movie, so let me know if it's any good. I honestly don't really know much about it. It's one of those movies I just kind of forgot that I had in the collection. Oh yeah, Jaguar Lives, man. With Christopher Lee, Donald Pleasance, and world champion Joe Louis. Fucking, you get any better than that? This movie's honestly not that great, but it's so much fun. It really is so much damn fun. Oh man, I love Jaguar Lives. It's great stuff. Oh yeah, one of my favorites, Nico Makarakis' Island of Death. Look at the artwork. Oh, it's so orgasmic, man. They really did knock it out the park. I love the presentations, like the way they did all the credits and just everything in these white cases. And they always came loaded with like goodies inside and posters and booklets. And yeah, these early releases is one of the reasons why they changed their style up, because they actually said that these cost too much money to produce. Slaughter High, aka Jolly Killer. That artwork, come on. Which, you know, recently got a, well, I shouldn't say recently got a Blu-ray from Vestron. It's been out for a long time, which is sitting somewhere over there, as you guys can see next to the Mondo. Whatever, it is what it is. Slaughter High, good stuff. Carolyn Monroe, I always love this because they're playing what, like, no, I guess they're kind of like mid-20s, but she's like in her mid-30s in this movie. She's still looking, she always looks so young for her age, but she was always so much older than she was playing though. Yeah, Jolly Killer, kind of like that title actually. But Slaughter High, yeah, pretty good. Midnight, which I was a little bit surprised that Arrow ended up never putting this out on Blu-ray, but it did recently get a Blu-ray release. Actually, I have it sitting. Yeah, I actually have that sitting right here. I was just looking at my Severin stuff, and here's the Blu-ray from Severin, which is cool. If you've never seen Midnight before, definitely give it a shot. It's a very, very sleazy film. Very, very sleazy. From John Russo, who, of course, the author of Return of the Living Dead. I love that, the author. But yeah, it's pretty exploitive. It's awesome. The Night Child, directed by Massimo Dallamano, who did What Happened to the Solange film and the Daughters film. And he also did one more too. The third one, what is it called? Enigma Rossa? I think that's the Italian title of it. I have it sitting over there somewhere. Anyways, Night Child. Actually not a bad movie. It's not bad. Oh yeah, it's a little chick from, the little chick. The little girl from Who Saw Her Die is in this too. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's actually not a bad movie. It's not bad. Here's one that I was a little bit surprised that Arrow never ended up putting out again. Super Bitch, also by Massimo Dallamano. It's more like a crime film, aka Blue Movie Blackmail. Okay. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good title. It's been a while since I've watched this. I have seen this though, and I honestly can't remember. I think I remember really digging it though. Like I said, it has been a minute. Then we got The Man with the Severed Head. This is from Arrow Drone. This was like a sub-label of Arrow Video. I never got into a lot of these releases I already had. At the time, I picked up these two, which are the only ones I have, because I didn't have copies of them. The funny thing is, I never even opened this DVD because I can't remember. It might have been shortly after, but Kino on the Redemption line actually released Crimson on Blu-ray. So I, of course, had picked that up because it was number 48. So I think I reviewed that on my channel at some time. But Paul Naschy, goodness. I dig it. It's good stuff. And then this is actually kind of the reverse though. This is pretty funny. But we have The Devil's Kiss, which, you know, that's obviously I think the Spanish. Yeah. So Devil's Kiss, which I had watched the Blu-ray. I believe I reviewed that at one time too. And then Kino actually put this out on the Redemption line. Actually, one of the very last releases, number 56, which should be number 57 because there's two number 55s. Anyway, it's confusing, but I'd never watched the Blu-ray. I miss the Redemption line, man. It's the whole line right there. I wish they would put those things back out. Or they kind of neglected that line, and then they came out so far in between. But yeah, Devil's Kiss, not a bad movie. All right, so to Arrow Films, like this is just an Arrow. Is that what they? Yeah, it's like Arrow Film, just the regular Arrow Films. I know there's so many like weird labels. Which comes Headshot, which is got the cast of Raid 1 and 2. Not as good as the Raid 1 and 2, but still really entertaining. Got some really great action scenes and stuff. But if you're into that high octane Asian fucking craziness, man, you know, if you've never seen the Raid movies, Jesus Christ. Those are fucking batshit, man. But Headshot fits in there very well. It's along the same lines, so you know what you're getting yourself into. All right, into a few slip boxes. And I never obtained too many of these, but I'm pretty happy with the ones I have. So we got Mario Bava's Black Sunday. And these are just phenomenal releases, man. Like, they've got 4 artworks. You know, there's reversed window boxes. These were so damn cool. And like I said, Arrow had stated one time that these cost so much to do that it wasn't worth them to do these type of releases. Plus the fire, you know, that killed all the remaining stock and stuff, could really put a damper on everything. And then that's when they went to the different style, just putting out standard releases. And then, but I really do miss these. These are really cool. I know there's a guy on YouTube. I don't know if the video's still up, but he actually had all of them. And I always love that video, man. I think he had all the DVD releases too. It was really cool. So props to that dude, which I cannot name right now. Lucio Fulci's The Beyond. Yeah, man, what can I say? Slipbox edition of it. I guess that was the artwork I put it on here. But yeah, beautiful. Very, very beautiful. Yeah, as you can see, I bought mostly just the Italian ones. I mean, I think there was other ones too, but City of Living Dead. Fulci's City of Living Dead. Man, I have watched these Blu-rays so many times until they got re-released. I mean, Arrow's re-released these a few different times. Different editions. Argento's The Bird with the Crystal Plumage, right there. Oh, it does say on the front. Yeah, which, you know, is... Fuck, I have, what, 3 versions of this now? From Arrow? It's just crazy how many times they released this movie. I think there's even a standard release of it. I could be wrong, I don't know. But Bird with the Crystal Plumage, awesome stuff. These are really hard to get back in and out because there's so many little lips and stuff. Argento's Inferno, from the glorious year of 1980. The follow-up to Suspiria is classic stuff, man. What can I say? I don't need to talk about these movies that much. You guys know about them. Come on. Deep Red, which, again, I have fucking 3 copies of this. Just from Arrow. Like, I have other copies of... Man, some of these movies I have so many copies. It's just ridiculous how many copies I have. But when it comes to Italian cinema, which is my favorite, you know, I buy them up. I do buy them. Sucker. It's the collector in me. Vamp with Grace Jones. I always liked this movie. I know some people don't really care for this one, but I always dug it because you can see all the different artworks and stuff on there. It's like, that's the coolest thing, that they had 4 different artworks to choose from. Like, whoever did that? Just Arrow. So cool. Dig Vamp. I think they, they definitely released that as a standard edition too at one time. I never grabbed it. And Dawn of the Dead, which was actually gifted to me from Mr. Snickers 21, I believe. To this day, I still thank him, because he sent me this just out of the goodness of his heart, because he knows it's my favorite movie of all time, and I never had this. I wish I had have bought the Day of the Dead one, just to have the slipbox version, but unfortunately, I passed on. I did pass on. I could have got it, but not knowing about things going out of print that quick, and plus these slipboxes came to like an abrupt end, so they all just kind of hit a wall. But yeah, this is beautiful stuff right there. I like that artwork. Pretty cool. And yeah, so that's it for the slip boxes. What are we, 50 minutes into this? All right, so we'll get into some of the slip covers. And yeah, the organization on here, there is a rhyme to the reason, kind of like the Scream Factory. I didn't do it in years. It's kind of more in subgenres, slip cases, countries, director. It's all over the place. I just know where things is, and that's what fucking matters, right? Anyways, Blood Rage. This Thanksgiving, it's not cranberry sauce. Man, this is such a great addition. It's got like 3 different cuts of the movie or something like that, and I always loved Blood Rage, man. I grew up watching this shit, man. I've rented this movie so many friggin' times. It's got some of the greatest one-liners. It really does. Pretty fun slasher movie. It's not the greatest, but it's it's one that's deep embedded in my heart. The classic Mutilator. Oh yeah. We're gonna have a good time. Oh yeah. Fans of the channel know that shit. Come on. Yeah, the Mutilator, it's fucking fun as hell, man. It's fun as hell. Good slasher. And then my favorite Frank Henenlotter movie. Yes, my favorite one. I love Basket Case. I love Frankenhooker, but I love me Brain Damage, man, with Elmer. This movie is so good. Like, honestly, it's such a great movie. The commentary in it's fantastic, man, but huge Henenlotter fan here, man. Really, really big. I wish Henenlotter had done more movies, man. It's just such a shame that he, had so many problems. And Henenlotter is a fucking encyclopedia for films, man. And the thing I like about Henenlotter movies, man, is that he was making movies, around the 42nd Street time, and they all have that gritty feel, that old school New York feel and shit, which is fantastic. Basket Case, which I believe now has been released. Did they release this on 4K? No. Did they release it on 4K? I can't even remember. It doesn't matter. Actually, I don't think they did. I think I'm thinking of Children of Corn actually has a box, which I probably should grab. The Bloodthirster trilogy. These are awesome. All 3 of these movies, The Vampire Doll, Lake of Dracula, Evil of Dracula. This is a great set, man. I had never seen any of these movies until Arrow released them. And I watched the first one night, and I was like, oh, fuck me, man. That's great. And I watched the other 2, I think I did the whole trilogy one night. Great stuff, man. So they're Asian subtitled movies. I know people are like, I don't want to read my movies. Whatever. But, yeah, good stuff. Highly recommend that set, man. Really, really good. One of my personally all-time favorite movies, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I love this movie. I have so many copies of it. It's ridiculous. But personal favorite, you can never go wrong with Killer Clowns. Like, honestly, you just can't. Yeah, no, Children of the Corn. Oh, just rubber. Definitely has the box set. I think it's just the region 2, right? Yeah, and then they released it on 4K, I believe, in both regions. Think so? I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but here's, the release. I should actually grab that box. I just didn't want to grab... I mean, I like part 2 and 3. Not my favorites, but I probably should grab that box set one of these times. Just to have part 2 and 3. I think it's probably worth it, just... Probably cheaper than grabbing 2 and 3 if they release them solo. I don't know. Scared Stiff. This was kind of an obscurity that was rescued from VHS obscurity. It's not the greatest, but it's fun. Pretty interesting film from the mid-'80s, I believe. Yeah, it doesn't have the shit. I think 86 maybe, something like that. I know this one right here was my man Tom Horrorsball always used to praise this movie, and then when it got announced from Arrow, he was like a kid in a candy store, man. Shout out to my man Tom, aka Horrorsball. Go sub his channel, one of the greatest YouTubers. And the only legit horror award show. The Horrors. The Hornies. Yeah, so it's got the 2 cuts on here, theatrical and international cut. It's a fun movie. Wood slasher movie. And then we've got the fantastic Alice Sweet Alice, which I always have a love-hate. This is one of those mood movies for me, man. It really is a mood movie. I sometimes really dig it, and sometimes I'm just like, it's like Anthropophagus for me, too. It's the same thing. Sometimes I dig the shit out of that movie, and other times I'm like, I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm sure you guys have those mood movies. Leave a comment down below. What's a mood movie for you that you have a love-hate? I wouldn't say love-hate. It's kind of a strong term. It's not like I hate these movies. It's just, you watch it and you're like, I was really digging that movie. And then other times you're like, it was okay. But Alice Sweet Alice has always been like that for me. Yeah, I was excited to see Edge of the Axe hit Blu-ray. Jose Lawrence, later entries into the horror genre. I mean, he took up making basically American slashers at this point. But this movie's actually not bad. It's better than it gets credit for, man. I dig it. I think it's cool. Oh man, some of these covers have the rubberness and they're really fucking hard to get out. The One Miss Call trilogy, of course, the first one done by Takashi Miike or Mike, however you want to say it, it's okay. I'm not one of those Nazis that are like, you said Takashi Mike wrong. Shut the fuck up. Fucking annoys me, man. Yeah, the first one is definitely the best. They actually kind of degrade, but I actually do dig all 3 of these movies though. I do. And then we got Gaspar Noé's Climax, which I always love when Gaspar Noé puts out a new film. It's like Rob Zombie. It just divides everybody. You got people that love him, and then you got the other side of the spectrum, and they fucking hate it. It's hilarious. Gaspar Noé is a filmmaker that's definitely not for everybody. Like he just makes those type of movies that are just not for everybody. It's kind of like David Lynch in a sense, right? Like some people love David Lynch. Some people are just like so brain broken by David Lynch, which makes sense because his movies are fucked. Like Inland Empire needs a fucking good release because that movie breaks your brain. But yeah, Climax, I really dug it, man. Upon rewatch, I dug it a lot more. But it's kind of like every Gaspar Noé film for myself. The Endless, which also comes with Resolution. So it's the 2-pack. I have not watched either one of these movies. I want to set it up so I can watch both of them in the same night. I heard The Endless is really good. And then Resolution, which is Resolution the first one? Or is Endless the first one? I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about here. I think Resolution is the first one. Yeah, I think Resolution and Endless is the sequel. I think that's how it goes. I'm pretty fucking sure on that. But I gotta check them out. Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia, Sam Peckinpah. Classic movie, man. Oh, I love this movie. Sam Peckinpah is just... He's an amazing director, and this is a great movie. So, you need to check that out. Then we got The Amazing Whitefire with my man, Fred Williamson. Man, I love the artwork on this. If I can pull this out, sorry for the shoddy work, but I love this 80s cover. Look at that shit, man. That's such an awesome cover. That fucking chainsaw. I was wheeling my chainsaw the other day, doing some chainsawing in my backyard. Yeah. Yeah, good film. Awesome. Oh, man. Some of these are so hard to get in and out. That's what she said. I don't know why I keep... Anyways. Dream Demon. This was a movie I actually knew nothing about. I knew absolutely nothing about this film. And I was really surprised. I really like... I always stress, man, like, I'm not a big fan of, like, dream sequences within movies that have nothing to do with, like, dreams. But if the whole movie's about dreams, it's totally different, like Nightmare on Elm Street. But this one's really cool, man. This is a cool film. I highly recommend that. Pretty interesting stuff. Here, I'm gonna put this over here, so because all these are very rubbery and hard to get out. The Last Starfighter. This movie right here. Actually, has, I think, the very first CG ever used in a film. So they did some computer stuff in this, and it's from the early 80s. It's a film I grew up with. It was so enjoyable back in the day. Upon rewatching it, it's honestly, it's not the greatest. I still have a lot of fun with the idea and the premise of it. It's pretty cool. It's definitely something that kids would like a lot more, and it's very nostalgic, but Last Starfighter, it's still pretty fun. Oh, the amazing Versus. Oh, I love this movie. I love me some Versus, man. A couple different versions of it on here. It really is kind of like the ultimate version of the movie. And that classic artwork right there. But yeah, if you've never seen Versus, man, this shit is batshit. Samurai, zombies, it's just crazy. It's all over the place. It's nuts. Then we got Deadly Games, which I actually recently reviewed. Not the greatest slasher movie in the world, but definitely worth owning, man. It's one of those very, very obscure films from the 80s that really didn't have any love at all. And then Arrow, of course, again, it rescues these things from VHS obscurity. Good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, yeah. The infamous Shock, or Beyond the Door Part 2. It's also known. This slipcover is horrendous. I even said in my update I was going to take it off, and I never did. I am such a liar. But yeah, that's the cover that you need right there. So, Mario Bava getting some love with Shock, finally. And this is another movie that I know my man Tom, aka Horrorsball, goes up to his channel. Link down below. Was praising and really wanted to release. And I get it, man, because Anchor Bay put it out, you know, Blue Underground. Where was the Blu-ray? And then they go and put this ugly. And I thought that I had ordered the slipcover with Beyond the Door 2 because it looks a lot better, and I guess I didn't. But I'm going to call bullshit. I think they sent me the wrong one. I don't know. This is a cool idea for a slipcover, man. From Death Screams. Death Screams is such a bad movie, but it's like, it literally, the ending to this movie is so fucking stupid. Like, it's such a head scratcher. You're like, seriously? That's what I just watched 90 minutes for? Yeah, really cool stuff. I love what they did with this mouth and stuff. I mean, that's a great idea. Cool slipcover. Not a great movie, but definitely worth owning. Another very, very obscure movie, I think, from 1982, which we actually did a top 10 on the podcast for that. That one was nowhere near anyone's top 10. We actually did the podcast way before that got released, so we watched shitty copies of it. Flash Gordon on For Kizzle. I think I just made up that word. That's not even cool. Yeah, Flash Gordon is a movie I've always enjoyed. It's not a great movie. It really isn't. I definitely loved Flash Gordon a lot more when I was a kid. But I still dig it, though. You know? I picked up this version. I could have got the deluxe version, but this was crazy, man. I got this for like $20, and the deluxe was like $55. I was like, what? Like, am I really? I just need the hard box and a booklet for like 35 more bucks? Yeah, it was like $20, man. I'm like, fuck, whatever. I'm cool with that. I'm very, very happy that I just went with that. Come Drink With Me, classic Shaw Brothers here, which was also released on the Shaw Brothers line over here. Yeah, which I do have that entire line, which we'll get to 88 Films sometime if people want to see that, and all those other awesome boutique labels. But Come Drink With Me, great film. I did a review for it. Check it out. And we got some Fulci's Don't Torture a Duckling, one of the greatest movies from 1972. This movie is like, it's very ballsy. It's very ballsy for Fulci exposing the corrupt Catholic Church in Italy, and for what he did, like, because honestly, man, like, doing what he did could have caused a lot of shit. Like, he could have gotten a lot of trouble because they weren't fucking with people trying to expose the church at that time. So, you know, he did a lot of crazy things in this movie. This is a really, really good movie. It's hard to watch at times. The content is brutal, but it's definitely different Fulci. I mean, 1972, this is before he started making like very, very hard gore films and stuff. But if you've never seen Don't Torture a Duckling, do yourself a favor and check it out. It's a fantastic movie. Here's the Italian cover. So, yeah. But you know what? I think I might actually stop there. I mean, this is 30 minutes in the video, and I'm like halfway through this shelf. So if I keep going, and I always say to myself, don't talk about the movies too much, which I'm not really, but yeah, there's still more than half the shelf to go here, so I'm going to stop right there, and we'll go on to part 2. So we'll probably end up doing maybe 5 or 6 parts. I don't know how many parts. Depends on how we want to do the box sets, because everything can be broken up too, which is kind of cool. I never did shows down at the bottom, but all these cases, all these white cases down here, these are all Arrow check discs that were sent to me years ago for review. I do own most of these in the collection now, but there is some movies in there that I actually never picked up copies for. Which is kind of cool, man. Maybe I'll end up just like ripping through those at the end of this whole series if anybody wants to see that. Kind of cool. I know, but people would buy these check discs on eBay and shit for like crazy money. I'm like, who the fuck would buy a check disc? If you guys don't know what a check disc is, it's like basically a promo disc that kind of looks like this, right? So this specific one is the Bloodstained Butterfly, which I do have a copy of. So, yeah, which most of these I do. So, but there is a few in there that I just never did pick up. So, but yeah, so that's going to do it for part 1 here on the Arrow video collection overview, collection Carnage. And yeah, I'll be back with part 2 soon. I just, yeah, excited to get through this Arrow stuff. There's a lot of stuff to get through. And yeah, leave comments down below. And I will talk to you guys soon. And as usual, do